Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's DrayTek webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about XGS-GPON, the DrayTek products that we supply and how it fits into our network management system. This particular webinar is exclusive for ISPA members, so we welcome you to this session, and we look forward to discussing this solution to you. So I'm Julian Hubble, I'm the Alliances Director for DrayTek, which essentially means I look after our large service provider customers, which is why I'm hosting the call today. Also joining me is Alex Schucker, Head of Product and Technical Services, who will also be participating in some of the slides. So after my brief introduction, we're going to talk a little bit about DrayTek, 2 or 3 slides, just for the benefit of those that perhaps don't know us very well. We're then going to get into the meat of the webinar, which is all about the products that we're about to bring onto the market. And we're going to focus on our router range and also modems. Whenever we talk about large rollouts in service providers, management is also a key part of that. So we're going to talk about our central management system, which is called ACS3, talk about provisioning, particularly auto provisioning, and we're also going to cover some of the SD WAN features as well. Following that, we've got a short Q&A and we'll close. I reckon we'll be talking for around about 20 minutes, just for everybody's information. So firstly, a little bit about DrayTek for those that don't know us. So we've been going since before year 2000, based in Taiwan. And one of the key things about our organisation that makes us special is that we own the intellectual property on the clever stuff, the firmware, and also the design of the hardware. And so essentially development goes on in synchronization between firmware and hardware. This typically means we can bring a very reliable and highly featured product to market. And indeed, as you'll see on subsequent slides, we've had many critically acclaimed awards about our reliability and product sets. The other thing to note is that the UK is the most established region for DrayTek. Tens of thousands of customers, many small to medium-sized enterprises use our product. We have getting on for 4,000 resellers reselling our product. And as well as small organizations, we have many large organizations with lots of small offices. In fact, we just won a rollout which constitutes the largest UK retail rollout, I think, ever, which we're very proud to have won, some 50,000 different sites. And obviously of interest to many ISPs and MSPs alike. In terms of where we're located, we co-located with our prime UK distributor called CMS Distribution. As you can see, we have London, Harrogate, and also Ireland. And we've got tech support spanning both UK and Ireland as well, with a big warehouse in Castleford. A little bit about some of the awards we've won. We won Networking Comms Vendor of the Year on PCR Awards. We're shortlisted for PC Pro Technology Excellence Awards in 2023. In fact, we're going along to the awards ceremony actually, so hopefully we might win that. And if you look on the left side, you've got some icons of some of our largest customers. You can see some high street brands there, Little Greg's, Paddy Power, Pizza Hut. There's also some ISPs that you recognise, Vodafone, 4Com and Southern Comms. And the bottom right icon there, no guess as to what that is, and that links into the largest retail rollout that we recently won, is going to roll out next year. So if you do go with DrayTek, you're in very good company. So after my very brief introduction, I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Alex, who's going to take you through fibre to the premise and the XGS-PON products that we're about to launch onto the market. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Julian. Hi, everyone. Yes, full fibre has come on leaps and bounds in the last few years. If we look at lines connected, as opposed to properties passed in as recent as, I think, early 2022, FTTP was probably third behind VDSL, kind of DOCSIS cable and ADSL in the kind of physical active line numbers. But now the national rollouts by the different network operators means that it's likely to soon exceed DOCSIS, I think, in the connections and take the number 2 slot as it starts to go past 5 million, probably sometime next year, I would have thought. DrayTek have lots of products with Ethernet WAN presentation suitable for connecting to kind of GPON ONTs, but what we're talking about today is stuff with native connectivity for XGS-PON and GPON. The fibre products aren't new to DrayTek internationally, but they are to us in the UK. Internationally, I think the biggest rollout we've done is in Europe is around 100k, with products such as the Vigor 1000 VN, which is that product on the left-hand side of the screen there with its mounting tray, and also the 2132F and 2135F. These older products were active fiber as opposed to GPON, and none of those were really brought into the UK due to the dominance of DSL and DOCSIS in the UK. But now with the significant rollout of GPON and XGS-PON, we're excited about the opportunities for UK-based ISPs with our newer range of products, and I'd like to give a brief overview of some of the products we've got in the portfolio. Here's the newer ones. I've got 4 specifically today: GPON device, XGS-PON devices, both a router, an ONT, and also an SFP Plus module, which is an interesting use case. Here's the Vigor 1000 AX. This is a GPON, a router. It's got AX wireless. We've got the specifications here. It has the GPON interface, but it is also switchable, so you can use an Ethernet. One of the LANs you can use for an Ethernet interface if you want to do. In some cases, that might be used for backup. It's got the on-off button and 4 antenna, 2 for the 2.4 and 2 for the 5 gigahertz, and also an internal for the 5 gigahertz as well on the wireless LAN. The GPON is the up to just the standard kind of up to 2.5 gigabits per second on the normal wavelengths, and the form factor size you can see on the left hand side is 170 by 115, which leads us on to, I think, slightly more interesting, which is our Vigor 1200 AX XGS-PON router. Similar functionality to all the kind of DrayTek products you normally have, so it supports the full kind of routing features and functionality and Vigor ACS, but it importantly has the XGS-PON interface, so it can support XPON rates, TX and RX up to the 9.9 gigabits per second, and also supports AX 3000 wireless. Dimensions are 207 by 130 by 45. The interface is 3 LAN plus 1 switchable, plus the GPON interface, which is actually underneath. If I show you that in a moment, I'll be able to show you the tray where the interface is on that. So here underneath the devices, we've got a connector tray where you can tidy it, and it goes into the optical receiver there at the bottom. As I mentioned, the 1200AX supports all the standard DrayTek features, so we won't go into all of them right now, but it's a kind of pretty standard things that we have in the DrayTek range. So on the LAN side, supports IPv4, IPv6 natively, up to, for IPv4, you've got 50,000 NAT sessions, 8 VLANs, 4 LANs, and you can do a DHCP with Class C per subnet on that. And then just picked out some interesting features there. There's 2 LAN-to-LAN IKV2 tunnels, QS, CSM for content management as an optional extra, the stateful firewall, and TR69 for management centrally via Vigor ACS. And also it's a single WAN active, but it supports failover, so you can fail over to Ethernet WAN, or there is a USB port, so if you had a dongle, it can support that to mobile broadband. But we do have other products in the range that have a SIM slot in them, so they can connect natively to a mobile broadband in addition. Then we move on to our Vigor 171. That is an XGS-PON ONT, smaller dimensions, so 150 by 116, and more basic when it comes to interfaces, so the GPON, and then 2 Ethernet LAN ports. In fact, reset button, no wireless on that, it's just a modem, but the same kind of standard GPON supported. I mean, XGS-PON supported rather. And finally, we've got a SFP Plus module, which is something that we think might be of interest for some use cases, because it allows you to add XGS-PON to other devices just using the standard SFP Plus. So it's the connector type SC APC, 3.3 watts draw power, and supports the standard XGS-PON standards and the transmission distance, I believe up to 20 kilometers max. So that is a bit of a tour there of some of our XGS-PON. Sorry, I've gone backwards rather than forwards. Let me. That's a bit tour of the 4 products. And if I pass on to Julian, I think he's going to cover a little bit on the management.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Alex. Appreciate that overview there. So when we're talking about rolling out large networks, working with our service provider partners, inevitably the question of management comes up. How do we get many routers in the field and installed very easily? How do we provision? How do we centrally manage? So I think the first thing I should say is that the devices that we've spoken about today, and indeed the DrayTek range of devices, support a protocol called TR069. Something I'm sure most of you will be aware of. We have our own proprietary network management system taking advantage of TR069, which I'm going to show you today. At least I'm going to condense a long webinar into about 10 slides, so it'll be a nice summary. But I also should say that devices do conform to this standard, and we have some of our ISP customers that use their own maybe homegrown or proprietary TR069 system to manage devices in the field. So both of those two options are available. Just thought I'd make that clear before we kind of launch into it. So this is a kind of view on how the system works. On the left-hand side, you've got something which we call an ACS server. This is typically Linux, and on that you would install the Vigra ACS3 license. That then connects to the internet, and you can see at the bottom there, the management interface can be accessed by a variety of modem browsers, any modem browser, so it's fine-tuned for smartphones or laptops or iPads or whatever it might be. Once that's all set up, it will connect to the various TR069 devices out in the network. So at the top there, you've got some devices you can see. Actually, I know we're talking about at CPE today, but we also do support our access points and switches that you can manage through this protocol, and you've got some of the examples there. And then that sort of middle line down there where you can see a kind of SIM card. We can also connect over a cellular network as well, whether it's 3G, 4G, and sort of more recently 5G. So basically, once connected, all the devices in the network can be seen and connected through this TR069 protocol. And this is just a top level view on what the management interface looks like. You can see there we make full use of Google Maps for sort of topological view of where estates or where devices might be. On the bottom left, it shows you on this network the total amount of active clients. In this particular case, it's 1,149. You can see how many are active at any one time, and you can see a kind of bit of a trend. And then just by the side of that, you can see the different customers, the different company groups that make up that total amount of devices, which is quite a neat sort of top line view. Top right, you've got the specific devices. So you've got a kind of device name, Glasgow, Liverpool, Bristol, and then you've got the particular model type. And here you've got a mixture of actually routers and access points. Various other bits of information as well of uptime, amount of LAN clients and so on. On the bottom right there, you've got a summary of all the traffic. So again, very useful to see as a service provider what's going on in your network, where was it peaking and troughing in terms of traffic, and you've got a nice graph showing you that across the entire network, also broken down by specific estates. So actually an awful lot more to it than what I've just shown you now, but I just wanted to give you a view of kind of what that top level menu might look like. We're now going to move on to some of the SD WAN features, obviously quite a popular industry term right now. And let me just kind of outline kind of how this relates to a DrayTek solution. So if you look at the top, you've got sort of different colored blocks there, and each colored block represents a type of traffic. You've got from the top left wide WAN and wireless LAN, so that would be wide LAN would be physical connections, wireless WAN would be cellular, so 3G, 4G, 5G and so on. In the middle there you've got VPN, IPsec, and on the top right in the mauve there you've got voice over IP. And of course, when we're talking about the quality of the connection, all things considered, many different types of traffic can be quite sensitive to that. I suppose the one that probably stands out is voice over IP. You know, excellent phone system, not very good network equals not very good phone system. A lot of frustration around that. And if I again could take you to the top right and look at voice over IP, this will return something called mean opinion score, or MOS score. Maximum is 5, worst is 0, and as you can see there, this is giving you an average MOS score of 4.3. And if you go across and look at these other different types of traffic, you can also see different types of MOS score as well. So this is a very simple top level view on exactly how good quality is that particular connection. And if you can look, you can see probably the worst offender is wireless WAN, the cellular, and the best one is wired WAN. So that's a kind of first kind of look at the quality of the different traffic going across your network. And if you look at the bottom there, it can kind of tell you how good that is. So you've got great, good, okay, etc. So a nice high level view, all things considered, on the quality of the different connections. We also got some kind of WAN monitoring here. If you look at the bottom there and look at those lines, those individual things represent a specific device. They can be named what you want. These are the 2927s, which is a WAN attached router, as it turns out. So you can see the uptime, the upload and the download. There's a bit on latency there, and then you've got against each device the MOS score as well. So this is drilled down to a specific device, and again at the top you can kind of see where they are in the country. A little bit more information here. Again, a trend running across a particular period of time. At the top you've got a usage trend, how many megabytes are going up and down the lines. You've then got a trend on the MOS score. So again, this could be useful for diagnosing particular issues. If a quality is dipping down, you can see there, I think between 1058 and 1103 on this, the MOS score kind of dipped down. And if you then follow the graph downwards, you can see that there was a bit of a hit on latency, jitter and packet loss as a result of that, which might encourage you to go and have a look at something, see what's going on in your network. So again, really nice high level stuff, can relate to a particular line or maybe group of lines as well. There's also VoIP monitoring and VoIP WAN failover. So key part of SD WAN is if one particular connection isn't producing the correct quality, in other words, the MOS score has dipped below a particular threshold, within a DrayTek network, something can automatically kick in to ensure another line is made or another connection is made available to up that MOS score and give that better service to the customer. So if you look, again look at the lines, these are VoIP connections, so it could be a soft phone or a physical phone or a VoIP connection of some sort. And if you look at the top there with the circle, you can see there's 3 calls taking place, of which 2 are great and 1 is only good. Why are 2 great and 1 is only good? Well, 2 of them have got a MOS score of 4.3, which is great, and 1 has got a MOS score of 4.1, which is only good. Might be good enough, but it's still only good. And again, by looking at that and drilling down, that may take you to a part of the network or maybe take you to a particular element that's going on that will help to resolve that particular issue. And this is just a very simple configuration. It's a very simple thing to do. So we've enabled VoIP WAN, and you can see here that we're telling it when the MOS score goes below, in this case, 3.5, which we would regard as poor, automatically change connections to a different connection, a different WAN, providing another WAN is better by 0.3 MOS. So this is a nice simple way that you can set a threshold to make sure if line quality falls between a particular threshold, another WAN line can be invoked to improve that MOS score. Got a nice little SD-WAN feature there. And the final part of this is we're going to talk about client application and bandwidth monitoring. So this is kind of a donut shaped depiction, a little bit like a pie chart. On this particular chart here, we've got different types of data usage. So you can see here we've got voice over IP, Google, Apple, Amazon services, streaming, and a whole raft of other things as well. This kind of summarizes the amount of bandwidth those different services are taken up as a whole. So a kind of pie chart donut, if you like, showing you that nice and pictorially, which is quite interesting to see. Good to know what type of traffic is going up and down the network. And the final slide is on different types of clients. So you can see here Galaxy, iPhone, Amazon, this, Sonos, sound, and so on. So different types of devices attaching it to a particular network. You've got a similar pictorial view on what particular percentage is taken up by those particular types of devices. So that's a kind of summary of different applications and different devices. So we did promise a webinar of 20 minutes, which I think we've delivered now. So short and sweet and hopefully all to the points. Thank you all. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you, Alex, for your great contribution. Can I wish you all a great day today, and we hope to see you on one of our future webinars at some stage later on. Thank you very much and speak soon. Bye for now.
Thanks everyone.